Hello, and welcome to Patforest Daily Burst on PFTV, your quick and refreshing news update on lifestyle, culture, and stories that matter. I am Ami Mve. Here are the news headlines. President Tinubu assures Nigerians on security reforms. Defense headquarters says U.S. strikes showed Nigeria's resolve against terrorism. Federal government maintains January implementation date for new tax laws. Now the news in details. President Tinubu assures Nigerians on security reforms. President Bola Tinubu has assured Nigerians that the ongoing review of the country's security architecture will yield positive results in the near future. Iwesi Samuel has the rest of the story.
The president gave the assurance during a meeting with leaders of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, at his residence in Lagos. He reiterated his administration's commitment to new security approaches, including the establishment of state and community policing aimed at changing Nigeria's security narrative. President Tinubu called on CAN to work closely with his administration in achieving the nation's collective aspirations. He noted that some measures already introduced require time to mature before their full impact can be felt. The president identified Nigeria's ungoverned spaces as a major security challenge, but expressed confidence that the situation would be addressed. He also pointed to the high cost and limited availability of military hardware, including attack helicopters, as part of the challenges facing security operations. Tinubu acknowledged delays in acquiring some security equipment, including helicopters ordered from the United States and support sought from Turkey. He said these delays have affected public perception, but stressed that the government remains committed to restoring peace and prosperity across the country. Responding, CAN President Archbishop Daniel Oku assured the president of the association's support. He acknowledged the receipt of palliatives and commended the administration's efforts to address both socioeconomic and security challenges. Archbishop Oku urged the president not to relent, noting that the Christian community is committed to the success of his administration. The delegation also appealed for direct engagement with CAN through established structures and requested the release of funds to the Christian Pilgrims Board. The meeting was attended by the Vice President of CAN, Reverend Dr. Stephen Panya Baba, alongside representatives of various Christian organizations.
Thank you, Iwesi, for that report. In another report, Defense Headquarters says U.S. strikes show Nigeria's resolve against terrorism. The Defense Headquarters says recent airstrikes in Nigeria's northwest region demonstrates the federal government's resolve to counter terrorism. According to the military, the operation was carried out in collaboration with the United States as part of efforts to weaken terrorist networks operating in the region. Defense Headquarters spokesman Major General Samaila Uba said the airstrikes were based on credible intelligence and targeted terrorist capabilities, while taking steps to minimize harm to civilians. He explained that the operation was approved by relevant authorities and forms part of broader efforts to eliminate terrorist and criminal elements threatening national security. The Defense Headquarters said the operation highlights Nigeria's determination to confront transnational terrorism and prevent foreign fighters from operating within the country, with the support of international partners. The military reaffirmed its commitment to protecting lives and property across Nigeria. And lastly, federal government maintains January implementation date for new tax laws. The federal government has reaffirmed that Nigeria's new tax laws will take effect on January 1st, 2026, with no plans for postponement despite recent controversies surrounding the reforms. Iwesa Samuel is here again with more.
The government said preparations for the rollout are progressing as scheduled. The National Assembly has directed the clerk to re-gazette the Tax Act and issue certificate true copies of the versions passed by both chambers, following concerns raised over the legislative process and presidential assent. Chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Taiwo Oyedele, disclosed this after a meeting with President Bola Tinubu. Oyedele explained that planning for the reforms has been extensive and described the tax changes as a continuous process. He noted that the staggered commencement allows newly created institutions to become operational ahead of full implementation. 2 of the laws are already in force. These include the Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Act and the Joint Revenue Service Establishment Act, both effective from June 26, 2025. The remaining laws, the Nigerian Tax Act and the Nigerian Tax Administration Act, are scheduled to commence on January 1st, 2026. Oyedele clarified that immediate revenue generation is not the primary goal of the reforms. Instead, he said sustainable revenue will result from economic growth and improved tax compliance. He added that the reforms are designed to be pro-people, reducing the tax burden on ordinary Nigerians and stimulating economic growth. According to him, most workers and small businesses will benefit from lower or zero tax obligations under the new system. The federal government also welcomed further engagement with the National Assembly where necessary.
Thank you once again, Iwesi. That's it for this edition of Patforest Daily Burst. I am Ami Nve. Stay informed, stay inspired, and stay connected. This is PFTV. Have a good day.